Hello everyone and welcome back to Toto, Tournament of the Old World. We have Jeff there smelling the flowers as he lets us know that things are calmly and serenely a go-go. But nothing is very calm or serene as we go here with the first of the Chaos battles, this time between the two Khorne lords of Skarbrand and Valkia. Skarbrand's force over here on the left of the screen fuses a group of Chaos Warhounds of Khorne. As we can see, fancy, angry red doggos. They're flanked by a group of Marauders of Khorne. They also like red, as is tradition with Khorne forces. We also have another Marauders of Khorne. A unit of rather brutal-looking Minotaurs of Khorne. Some from the more recent update from the Warriors of Chaos. Big update that came for Warhammer 3. Really broke down all of the different factions. We have some Forsaken of Khorne with their rather fancy lighting and very lava-tipped claws. Another unit of Marauders of Khorne, and of course you couldn't go wrong with a unit of Bloodletters, probably one of the most easily identifiable units associated with the Khorne brand, let's say. On the leadership side, obviously we have Skarbrand, a giant demon lord of Khorne with twin axes, very fancy looking, but across from him is Valkia the Bloody, the wife of Khorne, let's say. Now she's bringing a group of Chaos Warhounds as well, including a unit of Marauders that we've already seen, some Forsaken. She's also got a couple of Minotaur units on her side. She has some Minotaurs of Khorne with great weapons, and by God, those things are big. Those are definitely great weapons indeed, with a couple of Warhounds actually in her force. And spawned a little bit further down behind the hill here is a the camera won't quite drop down, there we go, is a Hell Cannon or a Skull Cannon, which is a rather unusual looking unit. Valkia herself, just for disclosure's sake, I am using a mod for Valkia, so she actually has hair rather than a weird pointy head. So let's go on with the battle, let's see how it goes, as we can see that Skarbrand is rolled for the defense on this one. The maps are completely random. I feel that the random maps are a bit better, to be honest. So it's quite nice with the Wood Elf kind of setup here. It's nice and bright. You can see everything that's happening. The Skull Cannon launches around and hits a tree. So we can see that there's a lot of her investment wasted there with that first shot. Valky's force is, I'd say, a little squishier than Skarbrand. I think Skarbrand's got a bit more on the side of the melee combat. Valkia is going, looks like she's going straight there for Skarbrand. She counts as a flying monster. He is a monster. They're just going to have a big old fight. We can see over here on the flank, the Chaos Warhounds of Valkia immediately losing all of their morale. They're not going to last long. They're wavering. But that's not going to mean much when there's some Minotaurs of Khorne that are literally turning people into chunks of gore and blood everywhere. The center line is also quite nasty here. We've got a lot of Marauders just duking it out with the Forsaken, battering each other to death. Over on the side, Minotaurs v Minotaurs, although it looks like Skarbrand's Minotaurs are winning out. In fact, the Minotaurs with great weapons on Valky's side are already breaking. They're not going to last long. They've suffered heavy casualties and they are fleeing, which is kind of surprising. Over on the boss battle side of things, looks like Valkia is... I would say Valkia is definitely a disadvantage. Skarbrand is just a physically more aggressive, larger, more powerful warrior compared, whereas Valkia is a bit more of a commander than a fighter, and it's not turning out well for her troops. In fact, most of her army is either running or dead, and we know Khorne only wants one of those two outcomes for any of his warriors. Continue in the middle here. The Forsaken are basically, they're broken. They're not sticking around for this fight. They are dead. The only unit that's actually doing anything of any worth or note here for Valky's side to represent is these Minotaurs of Khorne, who are absolutely tearing ass through a unit of Marauders, a unit of Bloodletters. Her Warhounds have gotten back into the fight. They're just trying to steal a bit of glory here. They did manage to bite off the head of a Marauder, I believe, before they got sent packing again, running for their little scaly lives. But looks like the Minotaurs have dealt with the Bloodletters, which is an impressive feat. I would say Valkia is dead, if not fleeing the field. I can't quite see where she is. The skull cannon is just lost. It seems a bit senile. It looks like it's fired most of its ammo. It just shot the floor. I think we know which unit is probably going to be the least effective of this battle. As we can see here, Skarbrand is just, he's having a bit of a wander. He's checking out the terrain. Looks like he's already dealt with a lot of things here. We've got these Minotaurs, but they are fleeing. They have broken. This is it. The skull cannon, which is now having to get to combat because it's out of ammo, is suffering damage. It's banished. Its lord is dead. It is still going to fight, though. It is getting involved. It's going to see if it can take out a Minotaur or two. Try and get a little bit of honor back, a little bit of dignity, because of how useless it was this entire battle. Skarbrand is navigating some crystals there in the middle. He's a little bit lost himself. In fact, he's not even bothering the skull cannon. He's just off. He's going to the tuck shop. He's going to get himself a bag of pickled onion crisps. That's what he's going for. Meanwhile, skull cannon slowly burning down, about to run out of health, and Jeff's got to call it at this point, right? The skull cannon explodes spectacularly, and there it is. A close victory, according to the game. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. As we look at the breakdown here of forces, yeah, Skarbrand brought 637, lost 367 with 270 remaining, and Valkia brought 394, lost 246, 148 remaining. Skarbrand, he only got 12, but he did deal with the enemy general, so that's fine. One of his Marauders only got 7. Looks like, yeah, actually, a joint demon man of the match here. Bloodletters of Khorne and the Marauders of Khorne, both on 47. With 2 units that killed 45, which were the Minotaurs with great weapons, and the Forsaken getting 45. Even the Warhounds did well, 35. That's rare for a unit like that. On the opposite side, Valkyria's troops, unit of the match, Minotaurs of Khorne, 169, triple figures for the kill. Valkia, I wouldn't say was the worst of it. She didn't get any kills, but she was involved in the battle with the boss. I'd say worst unit of this battle was the skull cannon. Valkia just had a bad plan right from the start. But it is Khorne, and Khorne only has one way of doing things. Run straight at them screaming, and just go in hellbent for leather. And on this particular occasion, Skarbrand was the stronger of the day. So, that's all we have for the Khorne generals. Skarbrand will represent Khorne in the grand tournament of the old world, and I wish him the best of luck with that. Until then, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.